Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to Table Talk with Rita Felleh Arah. Today it's Sunday. We are here today with another topic. Happy Sunday. Today here I have here with me my wonderful and beautiful guests here with me. I would love for them to introduce themselves. I have with me from Canada, Reverend Fidelia, for her to introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Reverend Fidelia Gerriga, Vice President, Living Bruce Ministry International, President of also Women of In God's Service, an NGO that I run. I work as a social worker with the government, and I also work as I work in the community with the community also, and I'm an addiction stroke here in Canada. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Fidelia, for for this great opportunity for you to be here with us, ma. I would love for Samuel to introduce himself, please.
Yeah, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Yes, I'm Samuel Omotosho. I'm an HR professional and a life coach. I work with Advanced Nigeria and with Daughters of Sierra Leone. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you, Samuel. I have here with me my co-host Ese Ayebene. I would love for her to introduce herself, please. Welcome back.
Hello everyone, I'm Essie Aime. I'm a counseling psychologist. I work with Doctors of Their Own. I am a mental resilience advocate, public speaker, and I'm so excited to be part of this conversation.
Thank you, Essay. Thank you. We're going to go right on to this program. If you're watching, please share. I want to thank PRO IB Blog, and I want to also thank Buntu Blog for hosting us today. So share the video, share, like, comment. Let's come, let's talk. I'm ready to talk today, so I don't know if you're ready. So thank you for joining us today. So today our topic is family matters, as we all know, but we are going to talk about spousal abuse. I know in our communities and in Africa as a whole, these are things we don't talk about. So let's talk. So today I will hand it over to Reverend Fidelia for her to give her own point of view, what she thinks about spousal abuse, and then we can go from there.
When we talk about spousal abuse, these are things we see all around us. Some of us, we experienced it, growing up. Uh, it's everywhere. They're like, when you say what is spousal abuse, you talk about physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. That is not just for women only, even the men, they go through it also. Like I was telling Rita yesterday when we were talking, I said, "Oh, myself and my husband, we were just discussing this when she brought out this topic. Even in the church, as a pastor, we've seen a lot of spousal abuse, and for many years now, these are things that people have been tolerating, and like it becomes a norm in society. No, I say not just abuse. You can bear, you can endure, and when you look at what is happening in society right now, we see what spousal abuse has led to. It has led to like death. I was watching a video a few days ago, how a lady just I don't know, say the husband did something to her and she got angry, something on her WhatsApp status, and the following day she just set the husband on fire, and that was how the man died. From the story we are hearing right now is that, oh, she also committed suicide after setting the husband on fire. So I believe as we start talking about this, we need to expose the evil of this, because sometimes in church, I'm talking from the angle right now, these are things we just cover up and we feel is normal. Do you know what? You can enjoy, you can pray. There are some things you cannot pray about when you're going through physical abuse, when you're going through emotional abuse. So these are the things happening in a lot of homes. And I believe as everybody will come together, we'll now start sharing what this abuse like. earlier said, I said physical abuse. You see both male and female beating the wife or beating the husband, and you feel it's normal. She's my wife. I can beat you. You understand me? I can just lay my hands on you and start beating you. We've seen sexual abuse. Sexual abuse in the form of sometimes depriving the house of sex, post sex on your spouse when your spouse is interested. That's sexual abuse. We have financial abuse. We have financial abuse. Oh, because you're not doing this, I'm going to deprive you of this. There are various abuse we've seen in society. Like, if I want to say this, if I really talk about it, we won't ask for our young people watching us from Sierra Leone and Nigeria. When you get married to somebody, there are some red flags. Sometimes you don't really say it, but maybe it's when you're in the marriage, that's when you start experiencing it. But there are sometimes when people come to meet me for counsel, the first question I ask is that, did you not get any sign about this? And some of them felt that, oh, I saw it and I thought, oh, the person would change. You are an abuser. You are not God. You can't change. Whoever is an abuser is an abuser.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Reverend Fidelia, for that contribution.
And when I wanted to get married, I looked at for some of these
The network is bad. The network is bad. Okay, I would love to welcome Mr. Alpha G. Timbo if he can introduce himself and we can go right on to the program. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you, Alpha G. Timbo. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here in Los Angeles, and I work for the county, and I also work for the African Coalition. And I'm very happy to be part of this discussion today.
Thank you, sir. If you can go right on to this with topic today, it's about spousal abuse. So if you can go a little bit more into it, so people can understand more about it and know the danger and how very important it is to know the signs of those.
Okay, thank you so much, Rita, for inviting me to this discussion. This is a very important topic that we all have to be aware of in the community, in our homes, in our families. Um, but because as the pastor was saying earlier, Miss Fidelia, I kind of agree with her. There's a lot of things we need to know about the topic itself. But the topic itself is called in different ways. Some people call it domestic violence. Some people call it intimate partner abuse. Some people call it spousal abuse, etc., etc. So let me just give you a brief definition of what is it, what we're talking about. Spousal abuse or domestic violence, I can say, is a pattern of behaviors used by one partner in the relationship to gain control or to gain and maintain power and control over the thoughts, actions, beliefs, body, and spirit of the other person. You want me to repeat that? I can repeat that. The definition of what we're going to talk, because we have to understand the definition first. We have to know what is it. A pattern of behaviors used by one partner in the relationship to gain and then maintain power and control over the thoughts, the actions, beliefs, body, and spirit of the other person. Okay? That's domestic violence, that's intimate partner abuse, that's spousal abuse. And as the pastor was saying earlier, I'm sorry I came in a little late. I didn't hear the other people. There are signs for that. And I can give you those signs later if you want, but I just want to talk about the definition right now. That's basically the definition of domestic violence. When you are in a relationship with somebody, the person trying to control your thoughts, they're trying to control your behavior, they're trying to control everything that you do. That has nothing to do with love. Love does not, if you love somebody, let them be free. Let them do what makes them happy. When you try to control them, the way you want them to live is no longer love. It's more than that. It's become domestic violence. It becomes spousal abuse. If I love you, I would love you to be happy. I would love you to do what makes you happy. I would love to have you go out and do the things that you want to do. I want to support you what makes you happy. I want to support what makes you fulfilled. When that doesn't happen, when you try to control me or control your partner, trying to know where they are going, trying to know how much money they're making, trying to understand why are they moving from time to time, who they're talking to, who they are, it becomes a little controlling instead of just love. So jealousy itself, let me start from that, has nothing to do with love. Jealousy to the point of controlling a human being to feel like they are like a little animal, like a dog or a cat that you can control where they go. That is not love anymore. As I said, I'm going to repeat it. If you love somebody, let them be free. Let them be happy. So that's basically what the definition is. I can talk a little bit later about the signs of domestic violence or spousal abuse. So if anybody has questions, you can ask me or we can start from there. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alpha G. Timbo. Great contribution. Essay, do you have something to add to what Mr. G. Timbo have just said? We can hear you, Essay. We can hear you. Okay, Samuel, do you have any contribution to add to what Mr. G. Timbo?
Okay, thank you so much, Pastor Fidelia and Mr. Alpha G. Timbo. Great to see you again, sir. Actually, spousal abuse, you have done justice to the definition, and Pastor Fidelia has also emphasized some certain things. But I will come from an angle which I think it's cool for me to start from there. And those are the signs that Mr. Alpha G. Timbo made mention, because it's very important for us to understand the limits. When we say love, most people that experience this in the marriage, they've seen a little bit of the signs when they were actually dating and going out together, but all in the name of love. And I do say this very clear. hmm? Um, Love is not blind. The blindness that you think love has will be clearly opened in the marriage, and that is very basic and sacrosanct. There are things that I let me say my wife don't like about. I've been married for 3 years. Don't like about me. Maybe when we were dating or courting, that some of those things I still do them till now. There are things that I don't feel comfortable about when we were cutting, that some of those things are still there today, but I've just been able to live with it. So the mindset of he loves me, I loves him, I will change him, like what Pastor Fidelia said the other time, is very true. Nobody can change anybody. Nobody can change any adult. Something he has been doing over the years till he get to that state of maturity of getting married. The parents could not stop him. He now said, it's you that will stop the person. It's let me say mission impossible. I'm not saying it's not possible outrightly, but don't even gamble about it. Like the control was talking about, you want to go for a meeting, you insist that you should not go. When arguments come up, you see the rage on his face. He almost slap you, and you are cutting. You are dating. When you get married, definitely it will beat you. And this does not have to do with the male gender alone. All right. it happens to men too. There are some women that are actually strong, they abuse, even emotionally. Like, some men, my God. Sorry, let me share this. Let me share this before I give the room for another person to speak. I was with a pastor some time ago, like 5 years ago, and the wife came to make a complaint to the pastor that the husband raped her. And you know what the pastor said? He said, as it's never strange that a man will rape his wife if he feel like doing it and the wife is not feeling like it. After all, he has paid the buy price. Like, I was angry. But that discussion, actually, I was not invited, but I was not comfortable. There are so many things that we have assumed that it's normal, and it's not. Let me stop there so that other people can contribute as well.
All right. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you. Happy Sunday once again. This is Table Talk with Rita Felleh Arah. Let's talk. If you want to be part of this conversation, you have anything you want us to discuss, you can join us on PROIB blog and join us as well on Bontu blog, or check my personal platform, Rita Felleh Arah. I see Mariama just join us from New Jersey. Mariama, would you like to introduce yourself and be part of this conversation? Hello, Mariama. Okay. Essay, are you there? No. Okay, Mr. Alpha G Timbo, we're back to you again. So give us.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Thank you,
Can you all
sir.
hear me?
Yes, very well, sir.
Samuel, that was well put, man. I love what you just said. I really appreciate that. What you said is some of the things that I'm going to share. Uh, Basically, what I want to talk about now is the signs or the warning signs, which we all talked about now. The warning signs of an abusive person. What do you look for? What are the things that's going to make you scratch your head and go, I didn't know that? Or when you see somebody behaving a certain way, you're gonna say, why is he behaving that way? And I like what Samuel said. When you say intimate partner abuse, we men suffer that too. Some men suffer that too. The only thing is that the culture we came from, Africa, men are not made to complain about stuff like that. You don't go out and say my wife is beating me up. No, we don't do that. Or you don't go out and say my wife slapped me last night. No, we don't do that because of the culture where we came from. You understand? But I like what Samuel said because it goes both ways. Men suffer from this kind of stuff, and women suffer this kind of stuff. Although, remember, most of the victims are women. Most of the abusers are men. But let's don't forget that there are few men that do suffer this kind of behavior. There is a list of behaviors that are seen in people who abuse others or their partners. The first four behaviors are almost always seen in abusive person. All of them. Okay? If someone exhibits more than three of the behaviors I'm going to talk about, then there is a very high probability that this person is in a very abusive relationship or has the potential of abusing others. The first one is somebody who tells you I have, or has abused somebody before. The history. If a guy has abused their ex-wives or their ex-girlfriends or their ex-people, or their sister, they hit them, they do bad things, know that this guy or this person has a potential of being what? An abuser. Okay? That means that it has happened in the past. And when it happens in the past, most of the time they minimize it. It's like, he made me do it. Or she made me do it. Or she got me angry. That's why I slapped her. Or she got me so upset. Or she left the house without telling me. That's why. No. You can't do that. Putting your hands on another human being is something that is a no. In the Bible, in the Quran, in everything that we do. You don't do that. You don't abuse your partner. There's nothing in the Quran, that Bible, that says that you can beat your wife. Nothing that says that. So you cannot justify that. The other thing people talk about usually, An abuser will say that jealousy is a sign of love. I love you, that's why I jealous you. I said that earlier. In reality, jealousy has nothing to do with love. Nothing. Okay? An abuser may question the victim about whom they talk to, or be jealous of the time spent with other people. They do that. They question, why you always spend time with your friend? Why you always spend time with your brother? Or why you always spend time with your family? I mean, come on. As the jealous person progresses, the abuser will call the victim frequently, stop by unexpectedly to monitor the victim's activities. They want to know wherever you go. They want to monitor where you go, where you come from, how you go, how you come from. All of that is a sign that this guy usually is a controlling person. Remember the definition? Control is part of the definition. Okay? Also, the person might be very hypersensitive. That's another one. That's the third one. Abuser can be easily insulted. You can say the little things, they become what? Insulted. Okay? The slightest setbacks are seen as personal attacks. You can say something, you can get into a little argument, they think like you are attacking their character. It might be just sharing ideas, you just giving them your thoughts, and it becomes so out of control. An abuser will rage about everyday difficulties of life as if they are injustice to them. They talk about grumbling all day, all night. There is nothing good in life. It's because of you blaming others. Such as getting a traffic ticket. They might grumble about that for days or overnight. Just knowing that, you know what, it's okay, you get a traffic ticket. But so what? That's a sign. Hypersensitivity. The other one is unrealistic expectation. The abuser is dependent on the victim for everything and expect perfection from the person. You expect your wife to be perfect. Forget that, they are human beings. We make mistakes. The Bible says we make mistakes. The Quran says we make mistakes. We are what? We are fallible. We are not infallible like God. Is that right? When your spouse expects you to be perfect, everything you do has to be perfect, such as so that little things, the other will see it like you are the only person I need in my life. You got it? The other one is controlling behavior. An abuser will claim that controlling behavior is out of concern for the victim's welfare. No. When you try to control your spouse to the point that they become a puppet, you want them to be a puppet, what time they wake up, when you eat breakfast, when they come to work, when they're supposed to return back from work, that's a sign. Okay? I can go on and on and on. And they blame others for their problems too. And they try to isolate. I'm not going to explain too much because it's a lot that I have in my head. They try to isolate the person too. They want to isolate you. They don't want you to have friends. They don't want you to go visit your family too much anymore. They want you to do certain things. Okay? If a female victim usually has friends, she is accused of being a prostitute or a whore because you're hanging out there with other people. No, it don't mean that way. As I said earlier, if you love somebody, let them be free. Let them be free. Because controlling them is not going to make them happy. And if they are not happy, tell me the kind of love you have for that person if the person you are in love with is not happy for you or is not happy with you. Okay? I can go on and on and on, but I know we don't have a lot of time. I have about 15, 20 of them in my head. Some of them I wrote down in little pieces of papers, but I just want people to ask questions. Maybe I can be able to explain more. And I know we have other panelists that want to say something. I don't want to take all the time, but those are some of the few signs you can look at. But I have some more. Okay? The person is very rigid too, very rigid over rules. These are the rules. You don't break them. When you break them, they have a problem. Okay?
All right.
I can go on and on and on, but I'm going to stop there right now, and I'm going to pass it back to the other panelists. I know you guys are very, very knowledgeable in this area too, but I'm going to listen to what you have to say.
All right, thank you, Mr. Alfaji Timbo. We're gonna go to comments. Mohammed Bundu, the link is on PROIB blog and it's on Bontu blog. The link is there if you want to be part of the conversation. Um, JD Bangura, Table Talk, Igiwi Hand, you know. Um, Jessica, they say there's game going on right now, so they are watching the game. So, Essay, if you can you hear me, Essay? Essay, can you hear me? Okay. Reverend Fidelia, do you have anything to add to what Mr. Alpha and others have talked about today?
Oh, after I said so much, you understand me, but like one with all this explanation, what was going through my mind was I wanted to ask a question. When somebody finds us in herself or himself in this kind of situation, what do we advise? I don't know if you're getting me. What do we advise? Because one, there are people going through this. So what do we tell them? Because one thing I notice about people that are abusers, they are very controlling. Like after mentioning all of these things, controlling in the sense that they want to control everything about you, like your relationship, your friends, your family, your finances, even the way you dress, when to go out. I've seen cases where uh, people get a job, maybe a lady gets a job and the husband will tell, and maybe he feels that, oh, she's going to earn more than me, and the man will just say, you know what, don't take that job. I don't know if you're getting me. So these are controlling attitudes. So when the question I wanted to ask, when people find themselves in this situation, because there are a lot of people listening to us, and some of them are going through these situations, what do we advise them? If somebody comes with this kind of situation, because many are looking for answers. They know what abuse is, but what can they do? So I want every one of us to talk about it. Rita?
Wow, that's a good one, ma. Because sometimes we go through that, but what can we do? And most of the things that affect
Yes.
us as Africans, um, it's we are worried about what someone is going to say if I walk away from this marriage. What people are going to say, they're going to judge you. The stigma is there. If you don't want to be again, you already have kids. But look at incident that just happened with our gospel artist sister Osinachi. She's very popular, everybody know about her. But could you imagine how many women or men have gone through that have lost their life because of that? Growing up as a child in Africa, I've seen so many abuse from my grandparents to my parents. And so sometimes people grow up and think it's a normal thing, it's our culture. A man has to beat his wife, the wife has to be, and some of these women that abuse their husband too, is based on, I have quite some women that actually beat their husbands up because they actually grew up in a home like that. So before they get into that relationship, they train themselves for self-defense. So when a man wants to beat you up, you have to defend yourself. So that's where the abuse come from. You will see some girls, they're so angry. If you say something, they so want to defend themselves because of what we are going through in our society. So Mr. Alpha, we're all here, so let's talk more about it. What is the solution? What can we do? What, when you see those signs, what you supposed to do as a woman, as a man, if you see your partner is being controlling or being abusive?
Thank you. Um, let me just go back to what Samuel said earlier. It's very important. I have to disagree with him on one thing, but I'm going to make it. Let's have open mind. Samuel brought an example earlier regarding some lady went to the pastor to go complain that something about sex, about no, that something, either the wife the one who have sex, is that what you said, or something at the wife? Okay, he said the wife complained that the husband raped her. That's what is it. That's what you said. Think about it though. Think about it. Let's just be careful what we say. If your wife, your girlfriend said, look, I don't want to have sex with you today, I'm tired, what's the problem? I mean, men can be tired too. Sometimes I don't want to do it too. She want to hold me. I said, no, I'm tired. I'm tired. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You understand? When you force her to do something that she doesn't want to do, then it becomes you are causing her to do something she doesn't want to do. That's why, I mean, I don't like the word rape, but it's like, yeah, in a relationship. But guess what? You're forcing that woman to do something she doesn't want to do, even though she's tired. So let's just think about it a little bit. I know sometimes religion gets too much in our head, but there's nothing in the Bible, in the Quran, that says you should force your wife to have sex, even though she doesn't want to. So just let's be careful with that. The other thing I want to talk about, Tim, before I talk about the solution, men or women who abuse women or abuse men have rigid sex roles. When I say by that, the male abuser often expects women to serve and obey them. They view women as inferior to men and believe that a woman is not a whole person without a relationship with a man. No, women are equal to us. That's where I think, I don't know about other people, but we are equal. Women are not inferior. They are human beings. The best amongst us, based on what God said, is one who serves God better, is the best person. If you serve God better, you are the best person. And the best person, as far as I know, is the way you treat your fellow human being, including your family, including your wife, including your children, including your neighbors, including the community. You are the best person in the eyes of God. So let me go to the science, which Dr. Fidelia talks about earlier. The question is what? What can we do about it? Is that what he said?
Yeah,
okay.
because I am.
I got you. The first thing to solve a problem, whenever you have a problem, is to know there is a problem. Awareness. You have to know there is something going on. If you don't know it's a problem, if this guy is beating you every day, is hitting you every day, is controlling you every day, and you don't know if it's a problem, then you cannot solve the problem. That's the first thing. You have to be aware. This guy is abusive, or this woman is abusive to me. First thing is awareness. The second thing you need to be aware, you need to know, is to have a willingness to change it. Nobody can help you change a problem. First, you have to think about it and say, you know what? Something wrong here. If you don't know, if this guy is beating you every day and you want to please the public, you want to please your friend, you want to please the pastor just to stay in a marriage, then you're fooling yourself. You don't know there's no problem. So you need to know first is there's a problem. One. Number two, you have to be willing to change it. Okay? And when you're willing to change it, then you can come to somebody like me or the pastor or Samuel or anybody to help you how you can be able to change it. There might be something we call here counseling. We can talk about it. We can bring your spouse in. Let's talk. Hey, why you behaving this way? Let's discuss it. There are things we do in social work or in psychiatry or in psychology. We can give you counseling. We can give you psychotherapy to talk about what are the problems. Then you can have to learn to change your behavior, your previous pattern of behavior, in an effort to increase family functioning and stability. Because remember, domestic violence, spousal abuse doesn't just affect the woman. It affects the children too, emotionally. So the first thing you need to know, the person who is abuser need to know too, there is a problem. Bring them in. You got a problem. Let's talk about it. This is what you do. This is because sometimes the abuser doesn't even know they have a problem. They don't just think it's normal. Just like what Rita said, that's the way they are raised. If the way you are raised, nobody ever tell you there is some alternative how to treat women, then you got a problem. Then the second thing is the abuser has to be also willing to change. When you are willing to change, then I can help you in counseling, in therapy, in psychiatry, in the church, in the mosque, to go to somebody who knows better to help you change your behaviors. That's another topic. How we go about it. Thank you. Got it?
Thank you very much, sir. Ese, can you hear me now? Ese? Mariama, can you hear me? Mr. G. Timbo, thank you very much for that contribution. It's now it's getting more and more. Before this pandemic, we've seen more and more abuse. Like for the city that we live in, Los Angeles County, they take that very, very seriously. All this domestic abuse, and growing up, seeing all this abuse, there are signs. Mr. Alpha G. Timbo, don't tell us about the signs. What should we look for?
I
What are the signs? Hello? What are the signs? So they don't tell we all those things. It's up to us. Now, like this lady that just lost her life, Sister Osinachi, she have kids, right? And we heard the stories. The husband was actually asking this
Hi,
kid
can you hear
to be,
me?
yes.
Sorry.
Okay. So it was asking these kids to beat up the mom. Could you imagine that? So now these kids, when they grow up, they think it's okay, it's normal for them to come with that same pattern to abuse their wives. And if it's a girl too, they think it's okay for them to come back and abuse their spouse because they feel it's okay. It is not okay. I feel like if you in that relationship, you feel like this man is being so controlling, you've talked to people, you've gone through counseling. If it's not working, leave. You have to leave to be alive. You have to be alive to live your life. If you lost your life, that man or that woman is going to move on. Regardless what? Regardless what? When I lost my mom, my dad moved on. He remarried, right? So there's a saying that we say in Sierra Leone, Uda die na in-laws. If you not say you're not able for change nobody. If you know say the married they work, relationship not to by force. If that woman they beat you or that woman they verbally abuse you, that woman they tell you thing where you not like it, they always put you down, they always make you self-esteem low, walk away. Walk away. You not to the first woman where go left married and say, oh, he don't left him married because of a man they beat him. That man can hit you somewhere and guess what? You're dead. And that's it. The woman can do the same thing. Una the fat, it can hit you with something, and if you're dead, you're gone. So regardless what, if it's not working out, instead of you going through, we don't see so many people them that they go through. There's this thing, Mr. Alpha, where they say verbal abuse. Mr. Alpha, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I
Verbal
can hear
abuse.
you.
A lot of we man then go begin tell you, look what you fat, look what you were,
That's
your
right.
body not tan like this. Let's say you've had kids, body shaming you. It's totally wrong. If you notice say you partner down the add weight, you go say, baby, the cassette I leave don't look like it is sit down at the joint, so we'll begin take a walk. you know let's see how we can able to do certain things then, but let we stop this habit of body shaming. If you're watching us online today, you can log in on Bontu blog and PROIB blog. And for our viewers, if you have any question or if you have any topic you want us to discuss, this is Table Talk. Join the conversation. Let's talk. Mr. Alpha, do you have anything to add, or Samuel, anything to add towards this?
I'm going to have Samuel say something too. Samuel, go ahead, man.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I guess you didn't get what I said the other time clearly. I
Mhm.
said I was in a room when a wife came to report the husband that forced her to do something she did not want to do sexually, and the man said that it is normal, and I was angry for hearing that. But because that
Okay, I'm
conversation,
sorry.
I was not invited into that conversation. I had to walk out of the room because I was actually angry. Do you understand?
Okay, I'm
But
sorry. I missed you. I'm sorry, Samuel. I got you
I
now. Thank
understand.
you.
I
Uh-huh.
understand.
Okay.
I
Thank you.
understand.
I
So what,
misunderstood you.
what you said the other time. No, I want to come from an angle of when you are courting your partner, you're in a relationship before you got married, at least some people in the life of that person that the person who deny esteem, that if you talk to such a person and the person call your spouse to speak to the person, it makes a lot of sense. Like it go a long way. Do you understand? It could be the pastor, it could be the parent. Do you understand? People that that person puts in high regard. So instead of dying in silence, because I've realized over time, especially when it is women and they have kids already in that marriage, they find it difficult to make some certain decisions. When it comes to children, women are so emotional towards their kids, like, okay, what will happen to them, all of these. But at the same time, if you die, the children will live their life. So I think it's very
Yes.
important, if these things are not bottled in, are not just kept inside of you. If the person has your spouse has someone that if you speak to the person can call that man to order or that woman to order, you can, but never bottle it up. Never keep it. Never keep it, because it's not a good news when we hear stories of abuse and people die, like death. Anyone that die, we can't see the person again, right? So it's not fair. So don't bottle it up. And secondly, I want to say something regarding abuse that we have not actually made mention. Do you know? I believe personally that everyone, both male and female, have their vision for life.
Samuel, just a minute. We're having a bad signal. So if we are not
Okay,
speaking, for us to mute ourselves, please.
can you hear me?
Mhm.
Mama Rich, can I
We can
continue?
hear you, Samuel. We can hear you very clearly. Yeah.
Okay. I know everyone has their vision for life, has set plans to achieve, whether you're married or not, either you are a single or a married person. So I keep hearing things that hurt me when I see maybe female friends when we were younger, and now maybe they are married. And what about your visions of doing this? Marriage now, marriage comes with a lot of sacrifices. And I begin to ask, sacrifices like, you know, um, I don't have to pursue that vision because I'm married. No, it's not correct. You're a complement to becoming who you really want to be in life. Your spouse should be a support system to helping you achieve what you have set for yourself. Your spouse should be a support system to help you grow to your full potential, to make you believe in yourself more. So maybe you are a single hearing us right now. That guy, each time you discuss your vision for life, talk you down, tells you why you cannot go for that vision, tell you why that thing cannot be possible. It's a sign. It's one of those things that Mr. Alpha G. Timbo has made mention of. It is not a must. It is very easy. The moment you are here to become married, don't be fooled. And you want to go for your master's, say, oh, even me, I'm not going for masters. You want to go for master, it will be too much. Excuse me. It's a sign. In
That's
fact,
right.
a very red flag. Okay, you say, okay, you want to travel out, you want to advance your studies, you want to do business, and no, you're going to stay inside. You are not created to stay inside. There are a lot of potentials in you that you have to. I'm so emotional about this because I've seen a lot of people, they will tell you, and marriage comes with a lot of sacrifice. I understand, but what kind of sacrifice? Okay, if it's a sacrifice of, let's say, you eat out before, and now that you're married, you want to be eating your wife's meal, and you are used to eating outside before, I understand that it's sacrifice because it's something you are used to, and now you want to be feeding on the food your wife prepared for you. That sacrifice I understand. Before you spend all your money on yourself, but now you have to cater for your wife, cater for your family. It's a sacrifice, I understand. But jeopardizing your own vision because you are married, I call it career abuse. Career abuse, actually. Nobody should stop you from becoming who you want to become or who you are meant to become. So it's very basic. Like I said earlier, if your spouse, while cutting, try to understand those people that actually matter to your spouse. So if something of that nature comes up, you can speak to them about it and they can call him to order. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. Like what you just said, you're talking about when your husband, like for me, most of the times when I want to do something, my husband empower me more than he empower himself. And so sometimes people wonder and say, why are you empowering her so much? You're gonna make her so powerful and she's gonna divorce you. My husband said, first of all, if I empower this woman, I have empowered myself. My kids are
Mm,
empowered. So if it's what
mm,
she wants to do, I'm supporting her 100%. And so we have some men that thinks like that. If you empower a woman, she's going to be so powerful and she's going to walk away. That's arcade thinking. That's back our great grandfathers and back when we were growing up, even our grandparents, they
mm.
allow our grandmothers to go and trade because back
Yeah.
then that's what they trade, right, Mr. Alpha? They allow them to do what they want to do, but they're still respecting the home. That man knows that he's the king of the castle. The respect is there. He respects you as a wife. So, Mr. Alpha, do we have anything to add to that, sir?
You want to ask Miss Esa if she's able to say anything? Is she
I'm
gone?
not seeing her. She the internet keep going in and out, even with Joe. Joe joined
Oh,
us
okay. I'm so
and
sorry.
he left.
Okay.
Even Mariama joined
Okay. I'm
us.
so sorry.
She left
Okay.
as well. So
Okay.
let's have the conversation.
Okay. That's fine. Let me just say, let me just add to what you and Samuel already said. Um, we have to be very aware that anybody that abuses another person, something is wrong with them. So let's just know that they might need help. An abuser can need help, can get help that they need. But as I said earlier, they have to know that there is a problem and they have to want to get help. But let me just go slowly with the signs in real time. When I say in real time, when you are with a partner and this partner is making you afraid by the way he looks at you. Some men do that. They look at their spouse like, okay, based on their actions, based on their gestures, I'm going to hit you. Stuff like that. Smashing things in the house. Maybe they have a cup and you said something, they smash the cup on the ground or bang the door or maybe hit the door or something. You have to be careful. They abuse the pet. When they get angry, they kick the dog or they kick the cat. I'm just going to use these terms because you guys talk about them in a very global term, which is very good. When you say using emotional abuse, emotional abuse includes what? Putting you down, saying things to you that makes you feel like you are nothing. Like Rita said something earlier. Make the woman feel bad about herself. Feel bad about yourself. Calling her names. Oh, fatty, you fatty, or whatever. No. Those are the things, the little things you have to look at. Making her think like she's crazy, she's stupid. Men do that, okay? Um, Humiliating her in front of other people, okay? Making her feel guilty of whatever she has done. Those kind of little things that you're going to have to watch for that. And one of the things that is very also important, using isolation. They isolate you, okay? Who you see, who you talk to, and all that thing, limiting your outside involvement, using jealousy to justify their actions. Or because I want you all by myself, that's why, I can go on and on and on. But let me just top it by saying there is help for that. Both for the abuser and the abused. We can get you help. But as I said earlier, you have to be willing and you have to know there is help out there so that we can be able to help you. I'm here in Los Angeles. I know a lot of my sisters. Some of them are scared. Some of them they don't want to talk about it. They feel like they are trapped. Don't ever feel like you are trapped. There's always help. The African Coalition is here. We can help you. And also when we help you, we keep your information confidential. When you go to counseling, you go to your pastor. If you don't tell pastor, don't tell my friend, the pastor is not going to tell nobody. It's the same thing we do. We help you to make sure that you become happy. If you're in a relationship, you're not totally happy, you're not totally fulfilled in the relationship, something is going on that we need to talk about so that you can be able to become the happier person that God intends you to become.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Alpha G Timbo. These are like African Coalition. They've been around for a very long time. They serve in the Los Angeles and I believe in other counties as well. So these are things that definitely they will be looking into in bringing into Africa because we don't have these resources down in Africa. Because people actually wants to talk, but they don't have anyone to talk to because sometimes like I remember we have a discussion with I think what was the topic we talk on domestic violence or so we have a conversation by whereby someone sister Cordelia Sandy mentioned that sometimes some of our spiritual fathers if you tell them something then they come on the pulpit and preach about it and talk about your business out there. Do you remember that conversation, right? So these are the things why people don't want to talk about it, Mr. Alpha, because they feel like, okay, so I believe in the future African Coalition will go to Africas, visit different part of Africa. I know you can do that for us, sir, so that way we can be able to give these people this help because our people do need this help. They really need those counseling because to be honest with you, I've not seen that. I haven't heard from that part when I was in Sierra Leone. So maybe they have that, but we need to start sensitizing our people and know that these helps are there. There's someone you can talk to if you cannot handle certain situation. And if you feel like you're tired, you want to walk away, walk away, walk away. Our problem is we think we worry about what someone has to say. And if someone is, to me, Mr. Alpha, I have a question for you. Sometimes I think people think the verbal abuse is not as serious as the domestic the physical abuse. So people get it confused. They say, oh, it's just cursing you out. That doesn't mean anything. But that caused damage too. So for you, that's it's very good with this. So you can tell us more about it, not only to physical abuse you, verbal abuse that can cause you for go on a mental breakdown.
Thank you. That's very true. Thanks for asking that question, Rita. I think we call it verbal or emotional abuse. Sometimes it's even worse than physical abuse. I remember there are some kids when I was growing up. I remember when they do something, their parents will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and grumble, and the kid will say, "Let him just beat me and let me forget about it." I think about that sometime when I was little back home. Okay, they would say, let him just hit me, give me my beating, and I'll move on instead of talking about this over and over and over and over. But verbal abuse, emotional abuse, is mental abuse, just like what you said. Emotional and mental abuse can make you physically, emotionally drained, like you don't want to live anymore. Okay, it will lead you to depression. It will lead you to anxiety. It lead you to various different mental health issues. It can even lead you to want to commit suicide. It can even lead you to suicide. Okay, so let's don't. I'm very happy you asked that question, Rita. Let's don't ever make light of emotional abuse or verbal abuse. It's as much destructive as it is physical abuse. Because when you emotionally abusing somebody, you are intruding, you are destroying their humanity, you are destroying their spirituality, you are destroying the core of who they are. That's what emotional and emotional abuse can do to a human being. Like, it's not worth living. Nothing is important. You go when you're depressed. One of the signs that you're going to know you are depressed when you keep waking up in the middle of the night. You think about what's going to happen tomorrow or what happened yesterday. When you're scared of what's going to happen tomorrow, you have anxiety. Something is wrong. Or you're scared of what is he going to say, or what is he going to do, or how he's going to do that. That's not good in a relationship. It's bad. So I can go on and on. And also, these people that abuse some people, they have what we call a mental health issue. They have mental health issue. They have mental health problem. Because for you to abuse somebody else, something wrong with you. You need help because life is not supposed to be that way. And I can go with the diagnosis for that. Some have what we call a personality disorder. Some of the personality disorder is what? Obsessive compulsive behaviors, obsessive controlling behaviors, bipolar disorders, depression. All of that is problem. So what I'm saying to the community basically here and back home, if something is going on with you emotionally, you're doing things that other people don't do that is normal, please get help. And this is for the people that abuse and those people that receive the abuse too. Get help. It's not normal. And the help is here, especially here in America, the help is here. And 9 out of 10 times, the help is free. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alpha. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well,
For those that are viewing with us, we want to thank you again for joining us today to share the stories. And I know we know what we're talking about. We all have been through this one way or the other. We all have seen this happen one way or the other. So if you see these things, you see there's a sign. If you cannot handle it, talk to someone. If you can talk to someone, walk away. Walk away. You need to be alive to live. You need to live to be alive. So let's watch our surrounding and let pay attention. Don't say this person is going to change. If that's who that person is who that person is. They can change. And if someone is talking down on you, and we've seen this happen a lot, even as a child, I was growing up, I used to hear people who say, she's not going to become anything good in life. So that was growing up as a child. I keep thinking about that and say, you know what? I want to prove this person wrong. I want to make this person see me. What's a powerful? So things, let's be careful. Things we say to kids, things we say to our spouse, things we say to our brothers, our sisters, because they say, word in the rotten. So let's be careful. Let's love one another. If you see the signs, walk away. If you think this marriage is not working out for you, walk away. If you see, say, this relationship is not healthy. I know sometimes growing up, I hear people say, if this man not beats me, it not like me. You know, you have a problem. You, the wife or the woman, has a problem. I've seen that growing up. If you not beats me, Mr. Alpha, you can attest to that, right? Growing up, you hear women say that. They long for the beating. It's because of they've grown up in that situation. So they feel it's okay. It's a normal thing. So it's not normal. So I just want to thank PROIB blog, and I want to thank again Bantu blog, and I want to thank my guest for joining me. Reverend Fidelia was having a lot of connection issues, essay, and I see Joe too was having, Mamadou was having a lot of technical issue. So please bear with us. If you have any topic you want us to discuss, please feel free to send us an email, or you can send us any message on Facebook as well. So I just want, before we draw the curtain, I would love for Mr. Alpha G Timbo to give his final words to the viewers.
okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, everybody, SA, and everybody that was able to make it. Marema, we appreciate you, and I know you are not able to join the conversation, but just know that we are a community. We have to support each other. As you know, Rita, I'm in a community here, and anybody that needs support, any help, please reach out to me. I can get you hooked up with the African Coalition. We provide you services, very confidential. There's nothing that you need to be afraid of. Thank you all very much. God bless everybody, and I'll see you guys the next time. And
Thank
thank
you
you,
very
Rita,
much.
for doing this great job for the community, because we need somebody like you, people like you that create forums like this to educate people, to help people, to support people in the community. I cannot thank you enough. I appreciate all what you do. We appreciate you, and thank you. I mean, Allah continue to bless you for all what you do. Okay, thank you all
Amen,
very
sir.
much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Samuel, you want to give your final message?
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me conclude by saying that we should watch what we say. You know, a simple "you're looking beautiful this morning," as much as it can help an individual and say, "Oh, you really make my day" by saying that, it can as well, if you say it other way around, like, "Why are you so fat?" That can actually affect the emotion of that person. So And let's be careful of our jokes. Let's avoid body shaming, as that can actually affect a lot of people. And thank you so much, Mrs. Rita Felleh Arah. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this platform, because impact is key. We can only help one another to get better. And for me, it's an opportunity that I cannot thank you enough. Like Mr. Afaji Timbo has said, thank you so much. And our viewers, please don't just come to this platform to watch what we say alone. Please put them into practice, because that's where the result is. The result is in the action. So when you practice this, you get the dividends of doing that. Thank you so much, Mr. Afaji Timbo. Thank you, S.A. Joseph, Reverend Fidelia. Thank you, Mamadou. Thank you. Thank you so much. See you some other time.
Thank you, Mamadou. I want to thank you for being our backend, for making sure we are connected. And I want to thank Alex Theo for helping us as well, connected. And I want to thank PROIB Blog. And I want to thank again Ubuntu Blog. And I want to thank my wonderful guest. Till next time, let's join the conversation with Rita Felleh Arah. Bye for now and happy
Thank you. Bye bye.
Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.